everybody, and welcome back to another YouTube video here at OttysCreations. I wanted to go ahead and go over some of the new updates and features that were added onto the Loklik Studio software for your Loklik cutter. Anyways, so I'm going to go up here to help and go to version details, and we're going to go over some of these things here. As you can see, they added version 1.9.3, and this is a more abundant font database, upgraded property settings, new slice function, new split function, fast device connection, improved function for the device connection, and they also did some bug fixes. So I'm going to stick with 1.9.3 for now and talk about that really quickly. I have some side notes here. They did add more of a font database, which if you double click on the fonts, you'll be able to see that it has a bunch of new fonts here under the property panel that are their fonts. I kind of don't really love how it's set up with the drop down here, and it's not a drop down, it pops up in a different window. But I mean, I still like the pop-up, but I don't know, the whole drop down thing confuses me a little bit. But they did add in different languages, so you can go ahead and use your Loklik cutter and fonts with the fonts that you would desire if it was in this language or another that they have. And you can also still click the system tab here to go ahead and choose system fonts that you may have purchased from Creative Fabrica or any other website. And if you guys are looking for new fonts, I highly recommend you go to Creative Fabrica and sign up for a trial or subscription with them. It's so worth having. But anyways, yes, they did add an abundant font database where your fonts are of your choice, and you can experience different fonts including Chinese, German, French, and more, accompanied by a new language filter feature. They also hope that you can go ahead and do this a lot easier. So the only thing is, I had a little bit of an error here. So I noticed this, and I'm not sure anybody else has noticed this with their Loklik Studio software. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bigger, but I'm going to add this to the feedback and error page. When you double click the font here, you also have the drop down to change your font, but it doesn't go to the property panel. It actually goes back to the icons that were there. And I'm going to close this. I'm going to show you that it doesn't pop up. So I'm going to double click my font, and the property panel should pop up, right? But it doesn't when you click on here and it pops up. Sometimes it doesn't. So it kept giving me the other icons. So when I click here again, okay, now it's popping up. But before it does this. So if I have a new text and I click to change the font, it does go back to the icons that are up here for the Boolean functions and stuff like that. I'm not sure if it's just a small glitch, but it did throw me off a bit when I was first testing this out. So yeah, let's go to the next one. I did upgrade the property panel, so if you click here on the property panels, it's a lot easier to go ahead and change and maneuver. It pops up a lot better. Before this, I don't believe when you double clicked, it did not do that at all. So if I double click on this SVG here that I downloaded from Creative Fabrica, didn't pop up first or initially. So if I double click really like a few times, I think it's like a triple click. Wait, that's a double click. This is a triple click. And when you triple click it, the property panel does pop up where you can change the color of your SVG and whatnot. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. They added a slice function. So this is very highly needed when you are editing your SVGs. So I'm going to show you the slice function, which is what it sounds like. So I'm going to do a circle shape and drag a square over it and select the two, and I'm going to go ahead and click slice up here, right here, and it lets you go ahead and separate the layers as so. And yeah, that's basically what it is, what they didn't have before, so that's great to have. Let's go into the next upgrade that they did. They did do a fast device connection, and I noticed that it finds my device a lot faster via Bluetooth, and it works really well via Bluetooth. I do like that. And I don't have to have all these extra cords, and my cutter's like a few feet away, so I don't have to worry about it being so close next to my desk where I have limited space. So they did improve that a lot via the USB and Bluetooth if anybody was having connectivity issues, which is great to hear. So the next thing in version 1.9.4 is that they added a new text boolean. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. You can choose between uniting or overlapping, subtracting, and crossing over. So you're able to do things you would do with a shape within your text. So if I go here to shape and I want to take a little bit of the K out, I can go ahead and do that by selecting both of them and clicking slice. Where is it at? Slice right there, and it goes and cuts that area right there, which they didn't have before, which is great that they implemented that because a lot of us use that feature. I am going to talk about the offset function. I have tried it and I don't think it's where it should be. I think it needs a little bit of tweaking, and it'll be a very great tool to have within the Loklik cutter. When you do click your Loklik text, you can go ahead and press offset, and then you're going to raise the offset up, which I wish the preview to your offset was a different color other than black, maybe a gray to kind of see the difference. And you can go ahead and click round and sharp for your corner offset. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and make sure you press confirm when you are doing this. And see, I can't really tell which is which. So you have to go into your property panel. You can see your offset here. So I'm going to double click my offset, and it doesn't go straight to it. So I have to go to properties, and I have to change the color. So the reasons why I don't love that is I wish I could easily click that within the layer panel, the double click and the property to pop up so I can go ahead and modify it. But I also don't believe this is its best. I'm gonna zoom in here to make sense. Okay, as you can see, the offset doesn't really hug or look as it should for an offset. It's a little off, and it's kind of, it's not as good as it should be. So I'm hoping that they will fix and adjust this in the next update, but it's almost there. Like I'm not mad at it. I like it as far as it being on there. So I haven't tried this within a shape. So I'm going to click a shape here. I think a circle would be easy for the offset. And I'm going to do the offset at 7, round, and confirm. And as you can see, the offset is cut off right here, which it does need to be fixed within the Loklik Studio software. Alrighty, the next thing that they did do is they went ahead and updated the update screen or window for your software updates. So I'm going to go ahead and click that over here at help and go to check for updates. And it now has this little window, which is a cute graphic that shows when it's loading. Before, I believe it just had like a little screen that popped up, and if you weren't aware, it was actually updating, but it didn't have like a progress bar, which maybe some people did not like. So they did go ahead and modify that for you guys in the window. I too also kind of fell for that though. Like I was like, is it updating? Is it frozen? What's going on? But you just got to let it be to update if you haven't updated yet to the new one where you're able to see that little digital screen. But that is about it. There is one last feature that they did do, which is really simple. They added a mirror prompt. So there is this option down here where it says mirror for HTV materials or whatever you need to be mirrored. And it gives you the option to mirror it horizontally or vertically. I personally have not had a project where I've had to mirror it vertically, but I mean, I guess that just depends on what you're crafting and what you're using to have to do that. But I think it's pretty cool to have both options. So yeah, that's about it for all their updates they've had for version 1.93 and 1.94. But I did want to go over some things that I hope to see in the future for Loklik Studio and Loklik the company itself. So I'm going to go over the first thing that should be fixed within the Loklik Studio is actually the offset feature. I would like it to look more natural as an offset instead of it's kind of off. I know you guys can see this here where it's incomplete with the circle, and those kind of things for your projects are unacceptable because when you have an offset, you want it to be perfected and perfectly around your shape or text. So I would hope that that is corrected, and I would hope they would actually change the color of the offset preview before hitting commit to a different color other than black, because their standard text when you type out is black. So their standard for the preview of an offset, I feel, should be a different color. I also believe that I was talking to a few other users, and they always bring up that they're not able to save their images. So if they do import their own print and cut projects, they're not able to save the project as a PNG or a PDF, which is something that would be very beneficial and helpful. I do feel like they are still developing the print and cut feature, while some, because I have spoken to like one user on TikTok who was able to print and cut. They did say that they were going to send me a video of how they hacked it to work, but I haven't heard back from them yet. But I hope that in the future these things can be a little more easier, where you just import your image and you go ahead and cut it like you would do in Silhouette Studio or Cricut software. Right now, as of right now, you have to import your own document set up for print and cut. So I'm just going to go to my zone over here, and I'm going to click Otters, which it will bring up another design. This actually had otters in my heart shape, but it only saved the shape and not the image. So I would like to start saving my projects as an image, but right now they only allow SVGs, which kind of hurts me as a crafter. So I would like to see that in changes, also a PDF form and other file extensions, because there's plenty of us who don't just use the most basic saving settings, right? So yeah, that's the second thing I would like for them to help us out with and hopefully correct in the future. The thing I would love to see within Loklik Studio is if we were able to arch our text or create a wavy text like you would in like Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, to arch the text, so that way we can do more with our projects. I'm pretty sure this is something, maybe all the things I suggested, that they're already working on, but these are things that I look forward to as a crafter. But I believe that's it for my video, guys. I do want to say thank you for all of you subscribing. If you're new, go ahead and click subscribe so I can keep making videos. If you guys have a comment, maybe you guys can leave your suggestions within Loklik Cutter, what you hope to see in the future. And hopefully if they see this video, they will take any kind of recommendations or opinions that you guys might have about the cutter and maybe make it a better crafting machine that we've all been waiting for. I do feel, and I do want to say this sincerely from my heart, that they have come a long way and they've done a great job so far. And for those of us who are aware, this was a crowd-funded project machine, which, you know, people had to be funded in order to create it. Like, we really had to stand by it. It's still in the works and it's still on a great path. And I really believe in Loklik to keep chugging along and doing what they're doing. And definitely, I think it's great that they hear us out in the feedbacks and errors, and they're committing to making it a better software. But that's all I have, guys, for today for the Loklik Studio. Hope you guys like this video. I hope my mic is better for those who didn't like the audio that I had. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.